It's 2017 and you want to build a budget gaming PC? Well, you've came to the right spot. Now you ask, what's in this budget gaming PC? Well, we'll start off with a Deepcool case. For the motherboard, an Asus Pro Gaming Aurora 970. For the hard drives, we're going to use a Samsung Evo 250 gig and a Western Digital 1TB black. The graphics card, Strix 460 OC Edition 4 GB. Power supply, 450 watt Intermax, and for the cooler, we're going to use an Intermax AIO. And some Corsair fans for a little bit of color. Now this motherboard does have RGB lighting, it does have a water pump header. We're going to use the 1TB for mass storage. We're going to use the SSD for our operating system and maybe some other software that we want to run a little bit faster. And what we're mainly going to do here is see, is it capable? What are the benchmarks? What can this thing do? Can I play games? Can I do some content creation? Alright, so let's get to those benchmarks. Let's see how this thing does. After that, it's your decision. Okay, so we're going to start this benchmark. This is basically for your frames per second, and it's going to give you a rough idea what the graphics card and processor can do together. After this, we'll run another benchmark, and that's your stats. I mean, pretty much you can go from there and figure out if this is going to be the system for you. Go to benchmark. Now this is on the 1TB Western Digital Black, and as you can see, it loads pretty fast for being a mechanical hard drive. And I mean, I am recording this with capture software that might have an effect on your FPS, but right now we're running 63, 64 frames per second. This isn't really that intensive on it, but I mean, it gives you a rough idea. I mean, there's a lot going on right here, and it is putting the graphics card to work. That it is. As you can see right here, we're running the FX 8370, 8 cores, the RX 460, and we're running in 1612 at 32 bits. This is on a lower resolution screen. It's just the way I have it set up. I don't have it on my high definition screen. But I'm telling you, it will run 1080 and with no problem. Okay, let's check out and see what these scores are here. So we're doing pretty good. The benchmark's going quite well. As you can see, we're averaging around 50 frames per second, which is pretty good. Now if I were to skip this, it would not give us that great of a score. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this. I think we got it. I mean, you got an idea what's going on here. We're averaging pretty good. You know, right now we're at 35 frames per second. That is still playable. It is not in the 60s, but it does jump up to the 60s. Alright, as you can see, there's a lot more going on now, a lot more movement, and we are rising in the frame rate. Alright, let's exit out of this. Here's our score. The game works well even at higher resolution. See, there you go. Okay, we're gonna run Cinebench for our second benchmark. As you can see right here, this is us, 4.3 gigahertz, AMD FX 8370. These are the scores that I've already gotten, and we're gonna run again. right now. Let's see, so it's comparing to a GeForce GT 620, GTX 460, NVIDIA GT. Alright, so on the OpenGL we got 66.75 frames per second. Not too bad. Now let's run the CPU. This is going to be a multi-threaded, multi-core rendering, and as you can see, it is already rendering pretty quickly. I mean, for content creation, you go make yourself a cup of coffee and come back, you're rendered, you're good to go. I will say that the AMD FX 8370 is not as fast with the single core processing. So if you have anything like that, you know, gaming, I know gaming, a lot of it uses single cores, but I can tell you from my experience gaming with this thing, there is no glitching, no tearing. It pretty much runs flawless. So as you can see here, it's saying that we're running at 4.3 gigahertz. So I mean, it's overclocked a little, not too much. I did use the ASUS software to overclock it. I didn't go in manually. So this is pretty much a factory overclock that we have here. And there you are. Our CPU score is 571. We placed 7th out of, you know, it's that close from an i7 4770K, and I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, we got a 651 and the i7 got an 822, so we're right there, but we're also $500 less in our budget than building that type of PC. Now the single core, it's not gonna do as well, I can tell you that. It does take quite a long time. It renders very, very slow, and we are using capture software, so it's definitely going to be a lot slower. You might as well go cook dinner for this one. But I'm not knocking this setup. I mean, for under $700, I mean, right now PC Part Pictures is you can build this entire PC, RAM included. I didn't mention the RAM in it, but the RAM is G.Skill DDR3 2133 megahertz. It's around $60. So for the entire PC, or under $600 is what you can build this thing. That is not bad. The prices did change when I built this PC. It was a little more, but the prices have dropped, and this is the time. If you want to go out and you got $600 and you want a computer that can do the job and keep up with the workflow and play these games, I'm saying that I would definitely recommend this. This would definitely be something that I would recommend. I mean, I'm tempted right now just to stop this. I mean, are you guys gonna sit through and actually watch this one core? I mean, I guess if you want to see what it does, single core performance, we can we can let it run, but we're gonna be here a while. All right, so. It's an e-cig, electronic cigarette. And oh, while we're doing all this, we're also downloading a game. I was gonna do some other benchmarks, Dirt 4, Tomb Raider. Maybe I'll put those in a separate video with just benchmarking. this benchmark, and the single core is not the greatest, but it's most of your programs, most of your applications, most of your content creation is going to use multi-cores, multi-threads, and for playing games it does just fine. We've seen that in the other benchmark, and I highly suggest this. And for under $600 right now for a PC like this, you can take it any way you want. I mean, you can get a different processor, you can get a different case, you can get a different power supply. You can put this thing together any way that you want to. But here I am proving for under $600 there is a budget PC that is more than capable. And right here is our score. So our OpenGL is 66.75 frames per second. Our reference match is 98%. Our CPU with our multi-cores, multi-threads is 571. Our single core CPU is 93, and our megapixels ratio is 6.17. And as you can see, we're coming in 8th place. We're right there with another FX 8370, which I'm pretty sure that was my score. And I am also running capture software right now, so that did slow it down. But I mean, we are not that far from an Intel i7 4770K. So take it as you will. This is the budget gaming PC. Thank you for watching. This is Tech Lifeline. I'll see you later.